Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, Toastmaster, and our distinguished guest. Before practicing my speech, I was Googling, and online I come across a quote from Yehuda Berg. I would like to read this quote to you. Words are singularly the most powerful force available to humanity. We can choose to use this force constructively with words of encouragement, or distractedly using words of despair. Words have energy and power with the ability to help, to heal, to hinder, to hurt, to harm, to humiliate, and to harm. Words have tremendous effects in our lives. Even we don't understand what our words causing in others' life, we are using that word sometimes wisely, sometimes without thinking. And this effect sometimes causing others' life many years of, like, let me give you an example. A broken arm, you can fix it. You can fix a broken arm, but you cannot fix a word effect on a person's life if it is a negative word. And that's why I'm gonna deliver a life story from my experience. In military high school, I was selected to military school with 400 other cadets like me out of 10 or 20,000 people. And we were selected to start military high school. In Turkey, first year of the military high school, you have to get 1 year English language class. Only English language, 1 year, nothing else. And in that preparation class, in this 400 people, some of them had already been taken that class in middle school. Because in my time, there were middle schools also, some of them giving preparation class. But in military, you cannot pass this English class if you have taken that preparation class in the middle school. There are only some people, only 12 of them can pass. So the other, like 190 people still had to take that class. And I was taking that class for the first time. But these guys had already taken. And in my classroom, we were 24 people, and 13 of them had already taken that class. They were studying English, they were attending classroom, and they are listening, and they were getting very, very good grades, even though they don't study. But we were studying hard. And our teachers suggested us to read English books. And you know or not, I don't know, probably you don't know because you are native speakers, most of you are. And there are 6 levels of different leveled English books, starting with beginning to advanced. 1, 2, and it goes to 6. And every level you learn new grammar and vocabulary. And as you read, you grow. And in that preparation class time for 1 year, I read 100 books. And I was able to finish most of them, like 6 level books, which was very difficult to read. And I passed the class successfully. In the second of my high school time, I wanted to keep reading English books because we were going to take physics, math, chemistry, or other science classes, but I want to keep reading. And first week of the class, it was free, nothing else, because you are getting used to do things, you are learning what you are going to, which books are you going to buy. I thought I need to go library and get one English book, but this time not a level books. This time, I went to library and got a normal English novel. The name was, this normal novel, The Jungle. I got this book. I borrowed from the library and I was running from the library to my classroom. And I came across one of my friends. This friend, as I mentioned before, who had already taken English preparation class in the middle school and had to take twice. So 1 year of his life wasted. But he still knows he's good at English. Because he saw us, we didn't know how to say hello when we first started. And he saw the book in my hand and told me, I was carrying the book and crying, "Are you gonna read this book?" I said, "Yes." "You cannot read this book. You cannot read this book." I would say, I would like to hear, "Nice job." But I heard, "You cannot read this book." Yes, fellow Toastmasters, I couldn't read this book. I couldn't read this book for 5 years. And I couldn't read any other English book. I couldn't study English for 5 years. Second year of the high school to second year of the military academy. 5 years, I didn't take any English book to read. Because of this discouraging words. Only 2 words, maybe. You cannot. You cannot. That affected me. He didn't know that affected me, these words. But I know. I need. And second year of the military academy, after 5 years of that happened, my English grades were going worse. I forget all English grammar, vocabulary is going worse. Yes, I am memorizing something to pass the class, but it doesn't enough. It isn't enough. Someone needs to encourage me. But I couldn't find someone like you. I found myself to encourage me. I said myself, you should start over. And I went to the Military Academy's library and borrowed a level 1 English book. Level 1 is like child book. I started over. I read and read. But it wasn't fast as in my preparation time. In 1 year, I grew up very fast. But that time, it took maybe 8 years to grow up. Yes, I started to read English book when I was become an officer, and I can read right now. But this effect, only 2 words, affect my life. And this is all about words. This is all about words. He didn't do anything. He didn't touch, but he touched in my heart. It's because of he didn't use these words wisely, because he didn't see encouragement in his life. If I wouldn't encourage myself, I wouldn't learn English. I wouldn't come here. I would be with you. I was in Turkey right now without knowing any other language. And I know many other people, because of this discouragement, maybe they are working in very terrible jobs. And I'm feeling lucky right now. Almost 1.5 years ago, I came here and met you. I met this organization, Toastmaster. I'm a member of this club and I'm proud of it. Because even sometimes you didn't understand me, you encouraged me. Even sometimes you didn't understand what this guy is doing. You didn't say me, you are an English speaker, you are a foreign, go away. You hugged me, you encouraged me. And because of you, I gave my 10th speech today. Because of all of you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
On behalf of MPI Toastmasters, I would like to say the same. You can, you did, you could,
Yes.
you are.
Esteemed guest, fellow Toastmasters, and our gifted speaker, Hussein. It was a privilege to evaluate your number 10 speech. I'm going to tell you a little about what I saw, what I heard, and what I felt. But first, let's talk about the objectives for this speech. In the number 10 speech, Hussein was challenged to inspire the audience, to appeal to noble motives, and challenge the audience to achieve a higher level of belief or achievement. He makes those appeals to the audience's needs and to their emotions using stories, anecdotes, and quotes to add drama. I'm going to ask the members of the Naval Postgraduate School Toastmasters to give Hussein one or two comments very briefly at the end of my evaluation. So start to think about what you'd like to tell him as a round-robin evaluation, which is our custom for number 10 speeches at the option of the evaluator. Let me start with what I saw. Hussein came up here and he had a very natural sort of stance and position here. He opened well. He got our attention, and then he gave us a quote. As an area of improvement, I think that quote may be a little long and a little drawn out, and that you might find one that's a little pithier that supports your point. But you did tell us what the main purpose of your speech is through that opening, and you got into the speech. When I look at the things that I saw beyond that, I saw your smile. And your smile is warm, it's welcoming, and it brings in the audience. Your hand gestures are natural, your movement wasn't forced. While it wasn't necessarily purposeful, you didn't have a place that meant this and a place that meant that, it certainly fit with your speech. So I saw good gestures, I saw your smile, I saw your movement, and everything there was good. What I heard, I talked about the opening quote. You used the image of the broken arm to make that specific point to us about physical harm versus the harm that our words can bring. And that's when we knew what the specific purpose of your speech was, is when you gave us that visual image, and that was very powerful. Then you got into the story, the personal story. And because it was personal to you, it was purposeful, and it was personal and meaningful to us. And it was relevant to everyone here as Toastmasters, because you talked about the words that hurt people and the words that can help people. I was, in terms of what I felt, I was there with you in the story, rooting for you, feeling the pain, and especially when you were discouraged and you stopped and you had to go back to the drawing board and reread your English level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 books in your quest. And I think that was probably one of the most powerful parts of your speech. It was heartbreaking to think of someone being told, you can't read that, you can't do that. Internalizing that and abandoning something that they were so dedicated to doing. And then the redemption, and then you brought it back to the sense of gratitude for Naval Postgraduate School Toastmasters, for the Toastmasters program, for the supportive environment here, so that, again, you hit in the closing an extremely relevant point that made your number 10 speech, Persuade with Power, powerful and effective. Thank you very much. Any words for Hussein about his speech?
From baby to adult. Congratulations, you are.
Carl?
Great job with saying one minor grammatical comment. You left the article the, T-H-E, out. And that's typical of people, English with as a second language. For example, you said, I leave library, and you meant to say, I left the library, the library.
Let's hold our applause to the end. Monique?
Hussein, it has been a real treasure to watch you grow over this last year, and your confidence is wonderful to see how the Toastmasters experience has really given you a lot of confidence in your speaking ability. Thank you.
Joseph?
Thank you for opening up. It's been, I've seen you not from the beginning, but I've seen you improve, and it's been really encouraging to me, so thank you.
I think using the heart is much more important than using the mind in the speech. So you use a lot of heart, and I think that's something that we could all take as an example. Thank you.
Actually, there's an American idiom that I think would have been very helpful. Sticks and stones can break my bones, but words can never hurt me. And you could have maybe used that and then talked about that's wrong because words can hurt me and talk about how it was. But thank you so much for your presence. I've appreciated all of what you've shared. I love your sense of humor in your previous speeches. There was a little less humor in that, but that's another dimension to you, and you brought so much to this club. Thank you.
I loved your ability to help us visualize what you were talking about, like Jack said, with the broken arm, but also through your storytelling. I think we all were following, I was on the edge of my seat following your story, so it was very inspiring.
Gary?
Watching you grow from being so nervous to speak to finding humor and finding that you had humorous, very humorous ways of speaking which made us all laugh. And then we have this number 10, which had humor and had so much sincerity, and it was just, your journey has been great, and I'm glad you did it here, that we got to be a part of it.
Hussein, thank you for a very moving speech. When you had that book in your hand and you were told you couldn't read it, of course I thought it was Lady Chatterley's Lover. You'll have to tell us about it. Congratulations.
Sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
You warmly welcomed me, and I felt drawn to you then. I didn't ever hear you speak before, and I was inspired. You drew me into that as well. Your journey, you have discovered again, and you are a fighter. You are a persevering person, and I love what you're going towards. Thank you. Heartfelt.
Fred?
Anytime somebody can bring me to tears.
Oh.
It's a great speech.
Yeah.
With or without short hair, oh, I'm here. Thank you for being part of our group.
Thank you for being very vulnerable and open during your speech. You made me think about times that I've been hurt by words before, but you also made me think about how I might have hurt others before in the past with my words without really realizing it. So thank you for inspiring me and everyone here that you did today.
Pat?
Hey, first off, brother, you can do anything. So start with that. But I think you redefined the medium here. So as we get better as speakers, it comes in fits and starts. I think you've been steadily getting better, but I got better as a speaker listening to you. So that was the most emotionally charged speech that I'd heard. I got chills listening to it. It's amazing. And I'll be a better speaker from hearing that. So thank you.
Don, would you like to say anything?
Sure. Well, I couldn't hear because I have hearing aid problems today. I did watch, and I watched your expressiveness, your gentle, humorous approach, and I very much appreciated it. And even though I really couldn't hear the story of what happened with the book, I could read the emotion. It was very well told. Thank you.
And Tatiana?
Hussein, I really feel honored to know you, and I'm happy that you are part of this club, and I hope you stay here as long as you can. About your speech, it's such a wonderful demonstration of what a story can do to the listeners. It was wonderfully done, and because of your sincerity and because you are so organic speaker. I don't know if it's correct idiom or not, but that's what you are. I have a favor to ask you about. When you fill in your application for CC, you will have a choice to choose 2 manuals. Please choose storytelling. I look forward to your stories.